This girl who applied for a special job, an hourly wage is $250. As requested, she took off her clothes so that the recruiter could examine her body. The girl who can get the job must not only have snow-white skin, but any part of her body must be free of defects. It's luck or bad luck, but this girl got accepted. Lucy is a student. The life was extremely difficult, so she had to do more jobs, serving restaurants, packing papers at the company to earn an income. She even volunteered to test drugs for a pharmaceutical company. With a pretty appearance, she is teased by other waiters, but up until now, she has never paid attention them. At night, she went to the bar, toss a coin to decide whose room she will enter tonight. No matter how hard she tried, she was just a bum. She lives in her friend's house with her boyfriend. Therefore, she only needs to pay 1/3 of the rent. Even so, Lucy always owes the rent for the room. She was criticized by her best friend's boyfriend. She had to do hard, dirty work in the house to deduct the living expenses. After that, Lucy found a new job. At the request of the other party, she put on a beautiful dress. She goes to a lavishly decorated place for an interview. The sisters Clara is the one who will be interviewing her today. Lucy had just sat down when she was warned. This is not an ordinary job, but she will be a special service for the nobility. At the same time, she arranges specialized staff to check each part of Lucy's skin. After she was determined that there were no scars and tattoos on her body, the interview began. In order to make her more perfect, Clara arranged for Lucy to have a pedicure and waxing. On the evening of the second day, Lucy was taken by a special vehicle to a villa, where the servicemen were only allowed to wear underwear that looked like they were not wearing anything. She serves food, pouring wine to old men. After the first day of work, Lucy received her own salary. This is also the first time that she earned such a large amount of money so quickly. Lucy is young, so it's hard to avoid bragging. She began to be lazy with those part-time jobs. As for special service work, Lucy sometimes still appears at the bar. She glanced at the men. Although her income is not much, she gradually accumulates a large amount of money. As long as she earns money, she accepts it. The beautiful girl that she wants to make money without hesitation to go among the eager man. Don't even hesitate to do special work that no one work. And the reason Lucy risked her life to earn money was only Birdman, her lover. He and Lucy are both unloved by their parents. They rely on each other. Because there is no money for treatment, Birdman's condition is not very good. Seeing her boyfriend's painful face because of his tormenting illness made Lucy feel pain. That day, Lucy received a call from Clara, asking if she would accept the Sleeping Beauty work arrangement. Just a deep sleep. The salary is several times higher than the waiter. Lucy did not hesitate to accept the job. Sitting in the car, Lucy feels nervous. She knew that this job was definitely not that simple. Not knowing how far it has gone, the car finally stopped. Similarly, there is a mansion which is also Clara's house. Lucy noticed a young girl being led outside. She tried to suppress the fear, followed Clara's instructions to go to the bathroom and change clothes. Standing in front of Lucy, Clara put sleeping pills in a glass of water, told her to drink water, and Lucy fell into a deep sleep. What happened in those hours she wouldn't know. After the drug wears off, Lucy will feel no longer energetic but quickly return to normal. Clara also assured Lucy that she absolutely would not be pregnancy. This sentence made Lucy comfortable and drank a glass of water with sleeping pills and fell into a deep sleep on the luxurious bed. She had just fallen asleep when Clara led a gray-haired old man into the room. He was one of the other guests at Lucy's first party. Clara made a condition to the old man. Don't mistreat Lucy and don't have a relationship with her. The old man could do everything on his own. And hours later, Clara brought Lucy home when she was sober. As soon as she got there, her friend's lover commended her to be kicked out because she was late in paying the rent, and so Lucy was kicked out the door. The best friend also only said a cold apology. Fortunately, the job, Sleeping Beauty, has helped Lucy earn a lot of money. She pushed open the door of the real estate agent's office and rented the most expensive room in the store. In the spacious bright room, she slept soundly. From then on, she called Clara every 3 to 5 days to ask if she could still get the Sleeping Beauty job. Anyway, the expensive rent has become a small expense for Lucy. While waiting for Clara's answer, Lucy continued to work as a copier and try drugs. Finally, Lucy got the job, Sleeping Beauty. This time, the customer is a bald man, and has many special interests. On the way home, Lucy felt something a little different in her body, obviously different from the first. She always wakes up in her luxurious bed naked. As for what exactly happened, she didn't know anything because she took a sedative, and this is a special job of hers. Her boyfriend could not stand his illness and finally chose to give up. When Lucy found out, he had swallowed a lot of medicine and could not be saved. Birdman struggled with the last of his strength to hug Lucy tightly. He felt the warmth of her body and then took his last breath. Birdman's death broke Lucy's spirit. Suddenly, she desperately wanted a family, but the men who seemed to be kind didn't make promises to her so easily. She continued to become a sleeping beauty, welcoming the third guest. Although Clara had instructed the man not to leave a trace. But he didn't follow the rules. Strange bruises appeared on her body again. Lucy to muster up the courage to find some clues from Clara. But Clara still avoided talking. Anyway, she didn't expect any threat from her sponsor. After repeated pleas were refused, Lucy gave up. But she didn't stop like that. She went to buy a pinhole camera, deciding to find out the truth. She finally received a new guest. After taking the sedative, she endured the sleepiness to sit up in bed. She put the camera on the nightstand and fall into a deep sleep. The guest this time is still the old man for the first time. A long time passed without seeing the old man come out. Clara entered the room to check and found the old man dead next to Lucy. Clara tried to keep her spirits up, trying to call Lucy, who was still not awake because of the effects of the drug. But Lucy gradually lost her reaction. Clara's mood immediately collapsed. She slapped Lucy's face, even giving CPR. Finally, Lucy woke up with a terrified look on her face. After seeing this scene, Lucy broke down and cried. Perhaps the unusual excitement after discovering the truth really woke her up from her sleeping life. This is a classic romantic movie called Sleeping Beauty.